Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah, and today I have 3 really delicious and easy crockpot recipes for you. I also post what's for dinner videos and just cooking related content, so if you are interested in that, be sure to check out my channel and subscribe if you like what you see, and let's get started. First, I am making a really delicious beef stew. I am starting by chopping up my carrots, potatoes, and onions. You'll see about the size, fairly big chunks, like a couple inches or so. And then I think it just called for dried rosemary, but I had a little bit of fresh that I wanted to use up, so I threw that in there. And then I cut up I don't remember what kind of steak it was, but I got it on sale at the store and kind of chop that up like stew meat, or you can use a roast. And I'm just going to sear it a little bit on each side and toss that in as well.
I feel paper thin. When will you let me in? Do you let anyone get under your skin?
And now I'm going to add in my beef broth, minced garlic, some tomato paste, a little bit of salt, and a couple different spices. I think smoked paprika, thyme. I will have the link to this one and actually all of them linked down below, so you can check that out and get the exact measurements or so. But this was so delicious. I was afraid that meat wasn't going to get tender enough. Oh yeah, and some Worcestershire sauce as well. And I was wrong. It was just fall apart in your mouth and everything was perfect. I highly recommend using this recipe if you have not made beef stew in your crock pot. And after tossing in a couple of bay leaves, I am just going to stir everything around a little bit. I don't know if this is completely necessary, but I feel like it needs to be done. And then I cooked this on low for 6 hours. And once your potatoes are fork tender, you're going to take out, I believe it was half a cup of this the liquid in it, but like I said, I'll have it linked down below, and mix it together with a little bit of flour, and then you're going to put that back in, give it a good stir, and let it cook for another 30 minutes, and this will just help thicken it up. And here it is, all ready and spooned into a bowl. This made an okay amount. We had a little bit left over for lunch the next day. Actually, I took a little bit to work, and so good. Of course, it was even better the next day.
You feel so far away, though you're close. Was your mind at a
And next I'm going to make crockpot refried beans. You're going to just pour in your beans and 6 cups of water. Yeah, 1 pound of beans and 6 cups of water, and a little bit of chicken bouillon or a couple of the cubes if you have that. And the recipe that I follow has you sear, or like, I don't know what the term for that is, but cooking the onion just like sliced, but where it's kind of just charred on each side or whatever. But I didn't have time right then. I was trying to leave for work and all that good stuff. So I just threw the onion in just like it was, and a little bit of cayenne pepper, minced garlic, and you're going to cover it and cook it on low like all day. It was like 10 hours. And then be careful before you start like mixing it up. Make sure you take out some of the liquid. Actually, I usually take out a pretty good bit in case, because I've had it before where it was like way too runny or not runny enough. So at least you could add more of the liquid to it, that you have reserved if it's not to your perfect consistency. And as you can also see too, I threw in half a stick of butter, and I'm just using my immersion blender. You can use a potato masher or whatever you want. And that's it. You can also, if you do mess up and they're like too thin or something, you can make up a cornstarch slurry and stir that in and let it sit. But as you can see here, I let it sit just like this for about another 30 minutes or so, and it thickened up really nicely. And this night I used some for tostados, and this is such a cheap meal too, and I think it is delicious. And lastly, I am making a like Frito pie in the crock pot. The recipe is really just for, you know, putting it over Fritos, but we didn't have a whole lot of Fritos and I had some tortillas to use up, so we decided to make just like Frito burritos. I really love the ones from Sonic. They're like my favorite. So this was good. Not quite as good as Sonic, but it's hard to compete in my opinion. And you'll see here I have, the recipe called for 2 cans of chili beans, but I only had 1. So I went ahead and just used the ranch style. So I wanted to keep the flavor, you know, because those chili beans actually have flavor in there as well. 1 can of Rotel. And then, my goodness, I don't remember what that was. Oh, taco seasoning. Just kind of help him get the lid off. Of course, you can tell my almost 4-year-old son loves to help me pour things into the slow cooker. But that's about a packet's worth of taco seasoning. And then I had a half of an onion I diced up, along with a pound of ground beef that I cooked on the stove. And oh yeah, also an 8-ounce can of tomato sauce that I almost forgot about. But you're gonna just pour that in there, stir it up, and cook it on low for 6 hours.
You feel so far away, though you're close. Where's your mind at? I wanna know. A penny for your thoughts.
And you'll see here it is all ready, and I have a soft taco size burrito. Of course, burrito tortillas would have worked even better. And I put a little bit of the Fritos on there, spooned a little bit of the chili. And then I decided to use a little bit of Rico's cheese, nacho cheese, instead of the shredded. I was really trying to get it as close to Sonic as possible. And I know they have that like creamy cheese in there. It is so good. But that's it. And I served it with, those are some leftover refried beans in the back. Put a little bit of taco seasoning on it just to kind of switch it up and add a little bit of a different, you know, flair to it. And then I just kind of wrapped them up the best I could. Like I said, burrito tortillas would have been a whole lot easier, most of them, but I think 1 were pretty much a hot mess. But we really enjoyed this dinner, and another way to use up those refried beans, or you can make bean burritos with them. I do that often with a little bit of taco sauce and cheese. So good. I hope you enjoyed this video and got some inspiration for your slow cooker, and I will see y'all in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.